When making macaroni and cheese, we start with macaroni and read the package, and we're going to boil our noodles. So fill your pot with water. We're going to turn our stove onto high. Get your olive oil and drizzle it back and forth all the way across the top of your water. You want a fair amount of olive oil. And we're going to salt our water so it's like the salt of the sea. Okay, so set your stove to high, put the lid on so it comes to a boil faster, and follow the directions for boiling your noodles. When your noodles are finished boiling, put them in a colander and rinse them really good in the sink. That'll help them from sticking too much together with the starchiness. We're then going to create our mise en place. So set everything up. Get your milk, your broth, your cheese grated, your butter ready, a little bit of flour. We have our seasonings, and you're going to want to take a minute and butter your dish that you're going to be using. Next, we're going to make our roux. So get butter melting in your skillet or pan and mix in the flour. As the butter melts, you're going to want to use a silicone whisk so you can get everything out of the sides of the pan as your butter melts. We're going to set about a 5-minute timer because we want to cook off the flour so your sauce doesn't taste like flour. This is just to thicken your sauce. So once everything's incorporated really well, we're going to set a 5-minute timer and stir occasionally. So every time you see it bubbling, come back, give it a little stir. So what I'm going to do is take my broth and my milk, and we need it hot when we add it to the pan. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to microwave it for about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, depending on your microwave temperature. And you can see it bubbling. It changes consistency. It gets a little flat. From here, we're going to add our hot milk, a 1/2 cup at a time, and you want to stop at about a 1/2 cup and then mix everything in really well. So I wanted to show you mixing it in really well and what happens. The milk starts to thicken up and it becomes more paste-like than milk-like. So we're going to slowly add each 1/2 cup of milk and then stir. Then you're going to incorporate your broth a 1/2 cup at a time as well and stir. Then we're going to add in all of our cheeses. So all of your grated cheese, your Parmesan cheese goes in, as well as our seasonings to season our sauce. So some salt, I like a dash of cayenne pepper, and some white pepper. I like white pepper because it doesn't change the color of your mac and cheese. There will be no little black flakes in there, but use whatever pepper you like. Here, I stirred it really good, then I added in all of my cheeses, and I stirred just until the cheese got really melty. All right, here we go. Now we have our cheese sauce. Once your cheese sauce is ready, you can just turn off the heat, and then what we're gonna do next is put our noodles in with our sauce. Once you get your noodles going, you just mix it all together. Make sure that it's evenly dispersed. There we go. Now we're going to mix a little bit of melted butter in with our breadcrumbs. and we're going to put together our mac and cheese. So we're going to put a little bit of cheese down, then we're going to layer it with mac and cheese. Then we're going to put a little bit of cheese down, and then we're going to layer it with some mac and cheese. Usually I do this in about thirds, so you get 3 layers. This is the cheesiest of mac and cheeses. It is super cheesy. My favorite cheeses to use are white cheddar and some Gruyere. Once you've finished with that top layer of cheese, you're going to sprinkle all your breadcrumbs on top, and then we are going to start to get it into the oven. So make sure your oven is set to 350. And get it on the middle rack for about a half an hour. After a half an hour's time, and you can put a piece of foil on top. You want to move it to the top row in your oven and broil it on high for just a couple minutes to get the top nice and bubbly and brown and caramelized and delicious. Join us at kallmanskitchen.weebly.com for more recipes like these.